everyone, it's time for another edition of Bookmarks and Ladders. I can't believe how fastly this month has flown. I am filming this in advance, but not that much in advance, and it feels weird that we're talking about a February TBR already. January is going really well, so I do want to make some changes though, because after editing the last video, I realised I'd made some mistakes here and there where I'd sometimes forgot to kind of follow ladders. Let me just turn you around. So there were some occasions where I'd forgot to follow ladders, or I'd not followed the bookmarks. So the adjustment I'm going to make, and hope this doesn't make a 500 book TBR, is that I'm going to use them both directions. So say I roll a 1 to begin with. I will follow that straight back up. This isn't the best of examples because of how the game works, but there we go. I then from there would have to work my way back round to land on there again to be able to end the game. But yeah, say I land at the top of this ladder. I'm going to go back down the ladder and then roll again. Say I then land here, I will then follow that bookmark. I will then carry on down here. I might land on there and go down the ladder, but then I might land on the bottom of this one and go up this ladder. And yeah, I'm going to use them both ways because I've had enough of accidentally missing them, thinking that I'm on a square where I don't need to use it. So I'm just going to use it all the time, and we'll see how this plays out. So I've put my little dog, because it's not made a token, next to the first bookshelf, and let's see how we do. 2. 1, 2. That is TBR bag Kindle. So book number 1, TBR bag Kindle. For this I am going for Ruin of Stars by Linsey Miller. This is the second and final book in the Mask of Shadows duology. I read Mask of Shadows a good couple of years ago now and actually really enjoyed it, and I've put the sequel on several TBRs in the past and have never actually picked it up. This is a YA fantasy series featuring an assassin, typical, but the main character is gender fluid, so at least it's got something a little bit different to offer. And I've not actually read that many YA fantasies because it's not a genre I tend to lean towards that often, and as a result I actually really enjoyed this one. I'm sure if you'd read loads you'd probably find loads of kind of annoying, repetitive, overdone tropes, but as I haven't, I'm enjoying this series. And nothing involved with that square at all. Let's carry on. 1. Recent purchase. So book number 2, a recent purchase. This isn't a book that I've purchased, but I do let this shelf also apply to review copies, for example, and that's what I'm doing here. So I've got Rules for Perfect Murders, which is also known as 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. I got this for a review from NetGalley, so I kind of need to get to it as it comes out in March. Next, 1. 5-star prediction. Book number 3, this is a 5-star prediction. So I recently made a 5-star predictions video because that was long overdue to be able to make this game easier. And one of the ones that I'd put on there that is of course shocking to everyone, so I'm going to pick up first, is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This is actually a perfect time for me to start reading this series for the first time anyway, with the prequel coming out later on this year. So yeah, I want to get stuck into book 1 now. From there we'll go up the ladder. Random number generate a TBR book. Book number 4, random number generate. So this took me a long time to sort out. As usual, I need to find a more efficient way of doing this one for sure, because the random number generator picked 15,714. I actually owned number 15,714, which is a rarity. I usually have to flick through a few, but no, I own it, and it is Phantazein by Tehani, Croft, Wessely, or at least that's the editor. So this is a fantasy short story retelling fairy tale kind of anthology. I no idea why I ever picked this up. I'm assuming I picked it up free on Kindle, but yeah, I will be giving this a read. I'm not really into anthologies and short story collections and whatnot an awful lot, but branching out. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. NetGalley backlist. Book number 5 is from my NetGalley backlist. So I've gone for The Pact We Made by Layla AlAmmar. And this is a book that I'd indeed got off NetGalley quite some time ago. And I believe it's a contemporary novel about a girl who lives in Kuwait. She's kind of straddling two kind of directions and ways that she's expected to be living. So on the one hand, she's a modern woman, she's living in a modern city, but then on the other hand, she's not allowed male friends, she can't leave the country without her father's consent. So yeah, I think this will be a really interesting read. Midway on the ladder, so we won't be doing anything for this square. 3. 1, 2, 3. This is something that we are quite familiar with from every other round so far, classic or play. So book number 6, as usual I've landed on classic or play. So I've gone for Jane Eyre. This is my really old edition, but I'll probably actually end up listening to the audiobook or something because this is old. And I don't want to kind of use it more than I need to because I'll probably damage it. But yeah, I've read that copy actually at some point in my life, though I don't fully remember it anymore, so it's definitely due a reread. I count it almost as just a first read at this point because I'm pretty sure I read it at a really young age and probably didn't take it all in properly. Definitely don't really remember it, so yeah. Along with going back up the ladder to read any book. Book number 7, I can read any book. So as you'll see my January wrap up, I kind of went on a bit of a binge of a series in January, and so I'm really desperate to pick up the latest book in that series, which is from the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. So I'm going to pick up Come Tumbling Down, which I'm really excited to pick up because it follows some of my most kind of favourite characters. Again, I believe Jack and Jill. 1. NetGalley backlist. Book number 8 is from my NetGalley backlist, and this is The Wife Shadow by Cath Weeks. I think this is going to be like a twisty, domestic-y thriller. I don't really know anything about it anymore, to be honest. 2. 1, 2. New TBR bag. Book number 9, I had the chance to pull out a new TBR bag pick, which you can watch the clip of here. So TBR bag pick number 1, if you aren't familiar with my TBR bag, it's just a giant Tesco bag with far too many books written down in it. This really puts the people's TBR jars to the ultimate minuscule amounts. So the first one I've pulled out is a free book that I got in September 2012 called No Turning Back by Tiffany A. Snow. I've just looked the book up. So this is No Turning Back by Tiffany A. Snow. And this is a romance, mystery, suspense novel. So I didn't know much about this. I don't remember kind of picking it up. I'm assuming I got it quite some time ago. But it's got decent ratings and reviews, so I'm kind of intrigued. Are you kidding? This square. So book number 10, I've landed on classic or a play again. I really might have to tweak this board slightly because as much as I want to pick up a classic every month or maybe every other month, it's a lot that I'm currently landing on this. So yeah. I've gone for a great big massive one because I'm going to be away a lot in February, and so I'm going to pick up the audiobook for this, I think. And this is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. And yeah, I've never read this book and I'm really intrigued. So after another classic or a play, we will move back up to read any book. So book 11, read any book. I'm going to go for Dear Edward by Napolitano. This is a book that I need to read and review from NetGalley, and it's about a 12-year-old boy who is the sole survivor of a deadly plane crash. Starting to really hate this bit of the board. I really might change it a future month. 1. NetGalley backlist. Book number 12 is another one from my NetGalley backlist. This is Her Husband's Secrets, also known as The Art of Deception by Louise Mangos. I think this is some sort of thriller. I don't remember anything about it anymore, to be honest, because I picked it up so long ago. 2. 1, 2. New TBR bag. So the second book I've pulled out is a free book that I got from January 2012 called Diary of a Nobody by George Grossmith and Weedon Grossmith. So another TBR bag pick. This one is Diary of a Nobody by George Grossmith and Weedon Grossmith. What I didn't actually realise when I pulled this out is that this is actually a classic, but it looks a fun classic. So it's a humour kind of based classic and looks at an accident-prone character and some home improvements and his relationship with a troubled son, and yeah, that's all I really know, but it actually looks a really fun one, so I can't wait to pick this up. 6. Finally off that bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Social media pick. So for book number 14, I ended up with social media pick. So I did a kind of little poll on Instagram, and are we even surprised that The Institute won by Stephen King? I mean, I'm surprised as many people went for Patricia Cornwell over Stephen King as they did, but I thought it was quite a nice little fun way of picking two similar authors, yet two completely different authors. And I was hoping this would win, so thank you to everyone who voted for this one, and thank you to everyone who just voted in general, because I'd have been happy reading either. That's why I put them both in the poll. But yeah, I'm so excited to be reading another Stephen King book this month. I am such a Stephen King fangirl at this point. So if we can roll 1, 2, 3, this will probably be the fastest game ever, so of course we're not going to roll a 3, are we? Oh my god, we actually did. 1, 2, 3. I love you, dice. I love you, dog, and I love you, board game. Booktuber pick. So book 15, I've suddenly realised that I've messed up, same as my last month, and not yet fit in my book club read for the month, which is What the Book Club Read by What Victoria Read. And so I need to squish this book in, and this month we are reading Surfacing by Margaret Atwood, so I am putting it here for the booktube or booktuber pick, because it technically is. I'll be listening to the audiobook for this one as well, I think, and I'm just really excited to pick it up because I really loved last month's read and I am ready to get stuck into some more Atwood. I don't actually know anything about this one. It says on Goodreads that it's part detective novel, part psychological thriller, so I might end up quite enjoying this one, but I'm still going with a really open mind like I did with the last book, and yeah, see how I get on. And then we finish the game by sliding down the bookmark we go and finishing on books I want to read this year. And I can't actually believe how kind this game has been to me this month, considering that it's a shorter month too. I mean, I've got a lot going on this month, so I'd be surprised if I get to all of these again, so I needed a shorter month. But this isn't bad. The final book on this month's TBR, and a book I want to read, again, I made a video of books I want to read, and I've just picked one of the shorter ones off there. And so I'm going to be reading With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is going to happen in February, yay. And I can't believe how quickly that ended up being over. What a success. So I am really pleased with how this went this month, and I'm hopeful that even though I've got a really busy month coming up, that I can get to a lot of these. So yes, let's see how it goes. I am also still reading some books from last month, about 6 actually, that I've got on the go, so they will be getting read too. We'll see how we get on. If I can get similar to last month's read with about another 14, I think that'd be wonderful, and would mean that I'd get to most of these. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.